Any last wish before you leave, Grace? Vanessa whispered, close enough that only the maid could hear it. Behind her, 2 security guards stood near the marble staircase, arms crossed, eyes straight ahead. Grace's hands trembled around the small suitcase she had packed that morning, long before her shift even started. 6 years she had scrubbed these floors. 6 years she had held this house together through storms, sickness, and grief. Now a stranger wearing a diamond ring was throwing her out over something she never did. And just as the front door creaked open, letting in the soft Charleston morning light, a deep voice asked one simple question that changed everything. What is going on here? Grace Bennett was 34 years old, and she had worked for the Whitfield family since Lily was born. Daniel Whitfield, 40, owned one of the largest shipping companies on the East Coast. But at home he was just a tired father raising an 8-year-old girl alone after losing his wife. Grace was the one who braided Lily's hair before school. She was the one who hummed the little girl's mother's favorite lullaby at bedtime, even though nobody had asked her to. 8 months ago, Daniel introduced Vanessa Cole, 30, a polished event planner with a bright smile and expensive taste. Grace welcomed her kindly, the way she welcomed everyone. But lately, she had noticed Vanessa stepping into the garden late at night, phone pressed to her ear, voice low and careful. Grace never mentioned it to anyone. She simply kept working. Until the morning everything fell apart. It started with a missing bracelet, the one that had belonged to Daniel's late wife, the one Lily still asked to see sometimes. Vanessa stormed through the house, insisting it was gone, insisting someone had taken it. By breakfast, she was standing in the kitchen holding it up, claiming she had found it hidden inside Grace's bag. Grace stared at it, stunned, her mouth open with no words coming out. I would never, she finally said. Vanessa only smiled. What no one noticed, except a small girl sitting quietly at the piano bench nearby, was the tiny motion of Vanessa's hand slipping something into that bag only minutes earlier. Lily saw it. But no one asks an 8-year-old for the truth. By the time Daniel's assistant called him about a situation at home, Grace was already being walked toward the front door. Staff whispered from the hallway. Vanessa stood with her arms folded, satisfied, telling anyone who would listen that trust had been broken. Grace didn't argue. She thought of her mother, resting in a hospital bed 40 minutes away, waiting on a heart surgery that Grace's paycheck was the only hope of paying for. She swallowed hard and said nothing, because dignity was the only thing left that no one could take from her. Meanwhile, upstairs, Lily wasn't crying out of fear. She was recording. Her tablet, propped on the piano stand for a practice video, had quietly captured everything happening in the hallway below, including a moment Vanessa never noticed the camera catch. Daniel had been 2 states away closing a deal when his smartwatch buzzed with a video call from Lily. Her small voice was shaking. Daddy, please come home. They're making Miss Grace leave, and it's not fair. He didn't ask questions. He cancelled the meeting, boarded the first flight back to Charleston, and drove straight from the airport with his tie still loosened around his neck. When he pushed open that front door and saw Grace standing outside with her suitcase, guards on either side of her, something in his chest went cold. Vanessa's smile faltered the second she saw his face. Daniel, I can explain, she started. But Lily was already running down the stairs, tablet in hand, tears streaking her cheeks. Daddy, watch this. The video showed everything, Vanessa's hand, quick and practiced, tucking the bracelet into Grace's bag while no one was looking. Daniel watched it twice, his jaw tightening with every second. Vanessa's voice grew smaller as she tried to explain it away, but the truth was already standing in the room. Grace hadn't stolen anything. She had simply become inconvenient, because days earlier, she'd overheard Vanessa on the phone with someone else, discussing how to access money from Daniel's accounts before the wedding even happened. Grace had said nothing to anyone. She hadn't needed to. Vanessa had decided silence wasn't enough insurance, so she chose to remove Grace entirely. But one truth remained unspoken in that hallway, one Daniel didn't know yet, the real reason Grace had been holding onto this job so tightly. Daniel turned to the guards. "Step back," he said quietly. Then, to Vanessa, "Get your things. Today." She opened her mouth to argue, but there was nothing left to say. The engagement was over before lunch. Daniel knelt down in front of Grace, the woman his daughter loved like family, and said the only thing that mattered. "I'm so sorry. Please, come inside." Grace's composure finally broke, tears falling freely as Lily wrapped her arms around her waist. It was then, gently, that Grace admitted the truth she'd been carrying alone. Her mother was in the hospital, waiting on a surgery Grace couldn't yet afford, and losing this job would have meant losing any last chance to save her. Daniel didn't hesitate. Within the hour, his own doctor was on the phone arranging the best cardiac surgeon in the state. He covered every cost without being asked twice, telling Grace simply, "You've spent 6 years taking care of my daughter like she was your own. Let me take care of your mother like she's mine." Lily held Grace's hand the whole time, whispering that she never stopped believing her. Weeks later, Grace's mother walked out of that hospital smiling, health restored, thanks to a kindness she never expected from a stranger. And every evening after that, Grace still tucked Lily into bed, still hummed that same gentle lullaby. Only now, it wasn't just a job. It was a home. Sometimes the cruelest words spoken to break someone apart end up being the very words that bring them exactly where they were always meant to be. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who still believes kindness can change the world. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below.